Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the curriculum that I'm going to be using this year, 2017 and 2018, with our 4th, 5th, 6th, and 8th graders. And the reason that I actually picked my middles and not my littles or my teens to show you is because the other day I did show you their lesson plan, so I figured that since I already showed you their lesson planner, I'll just do their curriculum first. Also, now, before I get into showing you our actual curriculum, I want to paraphrase something that Sarah Mackenzie said in her book, Teaching from Rest, and that is that you need to remember that curriculum is not something that you buy, it's something that you do. So since I'm going to be showing you what 4 of my kids will be using this year, you're probably going to expect oodles and oodles of books. But we are not a textbook-driven homeschooling family, so you're not going to see that. A lot of our curriculum is in what we do. But I'm going to show you what we do have. And I'm going to show you just in the order that we do it in our homeschool day, just so that I don't forget anything myself. Now, the first thing is Bible that we do. And when I say Bible, I do not use a Bible curriculum. We use a devotional. This devotional, which I really, really like because the devotions themselves are really nice. They really generate a lot of discussion. And it's written in the New International Revised Version, which is really easy for kids to understand. You know, a lot of times kids are trying to get what the Bible says. They get it right away, and that gives us more time to actually discuss the meaning of it. Now, what we usually do is we usually will sit after we do the devotion. They will get their own Bibles, and then we sit and we're reading through the Bible together. And we read usually 1 chapter a day, or sometimes 1 section a day, and we just each take a turn reading a verse. So that's our Bible curriculum, a Bible, not an actual textbook. So the next thing that we usually do after our read-alouds, which are a big part of our curriculum, because read-alouds really cover more subjects than what a lot of people think. I do have a video on that I made earlier this year, and I'll link that at the bottom if you want to know more about that. But after the read-alouds, my kids this age do German. And all we do is Duolingo. It's just a free website online that they use. And the lessons are only like 5 or 10 minutes. They really seem to enjoy it. And I enjoy it because I had 6 years of German myself. And they're still at the point that I can help them if they need help. If they would want to continue after this when they're older, I would use Rosetta Stone. That is what my older daughter was using for Japanese. And she really liked it. Okay. So then after German, what we usually do is our unit studies, and those are our next books that I'm going to be showing you. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you my good old standby CONUS, which you're probably going to get sick of hearing about in my videos because I mention it a lot. But that's just because this has really been a mainstay in our house. We did volume 1. This is volume 2. As you see, they're really thick, so they take a lot of time to go through. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about it a lot because we really like it, and this is one thing that we haven't changed. Now, as you can see, we're only about maybe 1/4 of the way through this. We're not very far in this yet. So we could use this for the entire year. But I actually found 2 other unit studies that I really, really like also that I wanted to include. So I'm going to be kind of going back and forth between them. The other one that I really like is, I don't have an actual physical copy here to show you because I have a digital copy of it. But it is the Medieval Time Capsule by Michelle Caskey. She actually writes at homeschoolyourboys.com. I will link at the bottom to this curriculum. The medieval times are one of my favorite time periods. I just love it. So when I found out that she had a medieval time capsule unit study, I knew that I wanted to do it, and we did actually start doing it before the end of last homeschool year. My kids really liked it because the first several weeks they were pretending to be peasants. So they got to dress up, and they went outside and were gathering rocks out of our yard in the rain, barefoot. It was warm out, don't worry, because that's what the peasants would have done. And I'm not going to get into it too much because I will be writing a review on that next week, which I'll post on my blog. But suffice it to say that Medieval Time Capsule by Michelle Caskey is another unit study that we really like and that we are going to be doing this year. And then the last one, not really a unit study, it's a literature approach to history, but I really think that it has enough in it that I do consider it a unit study. It's easily tweakable, and it's beautiful feet, early American history. And again, we did start using this last year also. We did not finish it though, and I like it enough that we're gonna finish it this year. So we're going to start out with, oh no, it's this one first actually. Pocahontas is the first one that we're going to be doing. And then William Bradford Pilgrim Boy is another that we're going to be covering. There are others that I'm not sure if we're going to get to yet, but those are the two that I definitely know that we'll have time for. And we also use A Child's First Book of American History in between the other books. It just gives a nice overview of the time periods that we're going to be learning about. So those are our unit studies. Okay, now after we do the unit study things together, that is when the kids break out and do their own thing. And that is language arts, math, and then silent reading. Now, if you watched my video the other day, I did do a video for each of my group of kids for what they do for language arts. And if you watch those videos, you know that for my 5th, 6th, and 8th graders, I do not use any sort of language arts curriculum. Our curriculum for language arts includes copywork, notebooking, and journaling. And also a lot of times our unit studies do cover language arts activities as well. Sometimes they might have to do, you know, like a report or write sentences and underline the nouns and such. But anyway, so we don't use a curriculum. That's how we do that. I will link that video to the bottom, and I will also link my notebooking playlist in case you want to know more about notebooking. I've done so many videos on notebooking that I'm not going to get into it again today, but I will link that at the bottom if you want to know more about that. Now, if you notice, I said my 5th, 6th, and 8th graders don't use a curriculum. My 4th grader, this is his first year in the middles. He's always been in the littles, my littles group up until now. But he is moving up into the middles now. He's going to be working with the older kids. But he just started learning how to read pretty fluently like last September. He was a bit of a late reader if you go by school standards. I don't go by those. I think that kids need to learn to read when they're ready. So with that being said, I really want him to continue working on Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. He's almost done with the book, and really, he knows how to read well enough that we could do without it. The reason that I'm continuing with him is because it really helps his reading aloud fluency, I think, and also he does have a bit of a stuttering problem, and I've noticed that when he is working through this with me, it really seems to be helping him to learn how to speak more slowly. Also, Adventures in Phonics. Again, 4th graders don't usually do phonics. And to be honest, I don't use this for the phonics. I've used this for several years, and this book is good for like beginning and ending sounds, but it hasn't really helped my kids in learning to put words together, like Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. What I do like about this, though, is that it's almost like a spelling book. You see there's words and they have to put the words in. And I really think that it gives my son a lot of practice in how words are spelled, and it gives him a lot of writing practice because he also has some issues with fine motor skills. Before I start putting him on copywork and notebooking and those sorts of things, I really want him to get more fine motor issues in. He's one of those kids that is great at every single sport he tries. But when it comes to like the fine motor issues, he really needs to work on that a little bit. He needs to develop a little more. And I think that writing in that phonics book is really going to help, because writing an entire copywork passage would probably be overwhelming for him. Writing, you know, a word at a time is not so bad. So that's what he's going to use for that. Now, the last thing is actually silent reading, but the second last thing that we do is math. So for math, all of the kids in this group use Life of Fred, which we really, really love. So Luke, my 4th grader, he already started dogs last year, so he's going to finish that. He'll move on to Edgewood, and then farming. Now I only have 3 here. He'll probably get through more than 3 books, but again, I'm not sure, so these are just the 3 that I brought. But that's okay, because after farming comes Goldfish, which is actually what Bailey, my 5th grader, is using. So here's Goldfish. He started that last year. After that, he's going to move into Honey. And after Honey, he'll move into Ice Cream, which my 6th grader is currently working in. See, it all kind of goes together. So she's using this, my 6th grader again. She'll go on to Jelly Beans. And then kidneys, and this is actually where the intermediate series starts. So these are kind of like the elementary level. This is intermediate. She will be starting that this year. And again, I'm sure that all 3 of them will do more than 3 books, but that's just what I brought out for now because I'm not sure. You know, I don't, as I said in my last video, I don't plan out an entire year of textbook lessons because I would drive myself nuts doing that. So for now, we'll stick to 3 and we'll be extremely happy if we get to more than that. Also, my 8th grade daughter has been working in fractions, Life of Fred fractions. After she finishes that, she's going to move on to decimals and percents. And then she's going to be doing elementary physics. Yeah, she just gave me a look because she didn't know about that. Elementary physics, believe it or not, is a math book, but it also incorporates elementary physics, which I love. So not only is she going to be doing math, she's going to be doing physics in 8th grade, and I think that's really awesome. And what I like here, this is what it says. It says, where is it? In the government schools, physics is often taught in the 12th grade. Too much time is lost waiting that long. This book fills a big gap. The title of this book might have been Physics After Arithmetic or Physics Before Algebra. So that's why we're putting it where we do, because if you look, there's a list here and it tells you to do fractions, then decimals, then physics, and then you move on to the 2 pre-algebra books, which I also do have. So if she finishes all of these, she'll be moving on to the pre-algebra books next. That's really it for our curriculum this year. If you have any questions at all, leave a comment and I will be happy to get back to you. And I will try to remember to link all the videos that I talked about. And I hope you have a great day.